your favorite top 500 player on Marvel Rivals here, JakeySnow. I have a friend here that has helped me out with some tier list stuff with the Duelist in Marvel Rivals in current state of season 1.5.
Hi everybody, my name's Luca. You might know me as S76M. My peak was 275 points into One Above All in season 0.
So we're going to be going over all the Duelist tier list today. I'm going to call him Luca because I just call him Luca. We play a lot of games together. We learn, we adapt, and we've been in top 500 for a while now, and we've been gaming, trying to figure out what the meta is in season 1.5. Punisher. Stop clicking.
A few moments later.
So we're going to be starting off with Punisher today. Punisher is still going to be well used in season 1.5. So Luca, what do you put him on the tier list so far?
I would say Punisher is... I think he's very good into characters like Groot that require a lot of damage to get through his walls and stuff like that. I would put him in A tier. However, he does have hard counters such as Magneto, which Punisher just cannot burn through and his ultimate becomes useless. But if he's not in the picture, then Punisher, especially with Rocket Team Up, can be very strong.
Do you feel like that Punisher needs Rocket Team Up in order to use him in competitive, or do you think Punisher can be used without Rocket?
I think Punisher can be played without Rocket, but I just don't think it's worth it. His basic kit becomes a lot worse than some of the other top DPS. His ultimate still has value without Rocket. However, it still gets countered by Magneto. So with a Rocket, it gives him more free value is what I would say.
I put Punisher at A tier as well. I'm gonna put him a high A plus. I guess A plus, A minus, it doesn't really matter. I put him at A tier. He's really simple to use, not hard to get into in the lower ranks. If you're starting into the game at all, I would say Punisher is a good start where you can not too complicated. All you have to do is point and shoot. When you see them in LOS and you move away, they stay in your vision for 4 seconds, which is kind of unique as a character. If you guys ever played Overwatch, Widowmaker had her ultimate, which you can see them through the wall. It's really nice to see that he has a bunch of kit. His ultimate allows him to bring out a bunch of different weapons. He's literally become CC immune.
I think Punisher's biggest weakness is his lack of mobility. In-fight mobility. He can get from place to place. He can die and then come back to the fight really fast. However, in the fight, his only source of mobility is his right click, which isn't really that good. And that makes him a prime target for assassination. He can be picked off pretty easily. Even if his health is 275, he still dies pretty easily.
Punisher also gets taken out quickly by Magik, SpiderMan, anyone that can go backline. Psylocke especially. If you go into turret mode, just like this, if you go into turret mode, you're not allowed to move. You can't really do anything except for shoot. You do have 600 shield, right? You have a 600 shield, but only in the front. So if the Psylocke comes behind you, insta kills you in the back. You're dead. You're out of the fight. But like Lucas said earlier, you can get back into the fight quickly with his grapple because he can literally fly around with grapple. So example, like you can just let go and just literally fly around with this character. So Luca and I, we're both going to put Punisher at A tier. And we're going to move to the next character, Hela. You want to start off with Hela?
Hela is S tier.
Hela is S tier?
Definitely. Because she can 2-tap in the head from any distance. She has a stun, which she can use to interrupt things like Eye of Ashanti. She has a movement ability, which she can use to dodge ultimates and Eye of Ashanti or Jeff ult, if you may. Her right click is somewhat cosmetic, but her left click is really strong. Her ultimate gives her a get out of jail free card. I think overall,
left shift instant?
It has a small wind up time.
That was very small.
But to really telegraph the abilities, Eye of Ashanti, even Thing ult, Jeff ult, all of these, she can dodge really easily. Or, for example, the last state of Thor ultimate, she can dodge that.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
Ironman ultimate, she can go out of Moonknight ultimate.
So, because she has the ability to get out of any of sticky situation, you're putting Hela at S tier with her damage combo?
Her damage is very consistent as long as you can land your shots, and she doesn't rely on any sort of cooldown or anything to be able to do her damage. It's just her left click.
I really do think because at the higher elo, at least, there's been a lot of issues where people that are really good aimer, they're just pure aim. Personally struggle against Helas because they can 2-tap as a healer or even DPS. Getting 2-tap in the head, even 1-tap in the head, you're out of the fight. They have to go find a health pack. They have to go back to the healer. It's really difficult for even DPS to go against Hela.
Hela is really strong in 1v1 scenarios. She can fend off a lot of angles from long ranges. Characters like Psylocke can sometimes be forced to disengage super early because Hela landed one bullet on them. Very safe and very consistent.
Right, Moonknight had some few changes after the season.
He only had changes to his ultimate.
I should have the...
Oh, and his passive. He got a change to his passive. Team up. That's what it's called.
His team up. Oh, he got buffed on his team up, right?
Yes, so it heals you.
That's crazy to me.
I believe it's 20 or 25 per second.
That's actually a lot.
Keep in mind, when you're hit, you get revealed in your team up.
That was the same case before, right? But you're still getting healed, even if you get hit.
Yes.
That is incredible. I actually put... Moonknight was one of the highest ranked in Season 1 for me. I put Moonknight at close to S tier in Season 1 after the Ultimate update, because I really believe that Moonknight's Ultimate is what made Moonknight very strong.
It was specifically the Groot Moonknight combo that people were running a lot that made it very oppressive because it killed through support ultimates.
Yes. Before this nerf, I'm gonna say this is a nerf. Before the fire rates,
it is a nerf.
Before the nerf, I put Moonknight at literally pretty close to S tier. Now I put him towards actually B tier.
I would agree with that. Similar to Punisher, the main problem with Moonknight is actually his survivability. Not only does he have 250 HP, but his movement options are very slow, very telegraphed, and he has a very big hitbox. So again, characters like Psylocke and Star-Lord can 1v1 him very reliably. In general, Moonknight has a very weak 1v1 without his Aunt. He gets pressured off very easily. Outside of his ultimate, I would say he's a rather weak character.
Ironman, who did get some changes, actually.
You don't need Gamma anymore for Gamma damage.
Yes, you don't need Ironman. Increase the Raptor Beam to normal state and Armor Overlord state. The damage Raptor Beam has increased from 120 to 140,
which is his normal right.
Normal right click, but with the Overlord, it has been increased from 180 to 190.
From 180. How much?
180 to 190. So it's 190 now.
190 damage per second.
Which is.
Do you know how much Gamma does now?
210.
210. And how much did it do before? Also 210? Or did it do...
Yeah, I also did 210. Yes, it didn't change.
I think Ironman is playable without his team up now.
I agree. I still don't think he's one of the high usable character. I still put him at B tier.
I would say high B, if anything. Maybe. High B, low A, maybe. But that's only if you're like one trick and you really love Ironman and you're trying really hard to make him work.
Like I said in the video before, guys, on the short video, if you're maining one character to rank up, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be easier now with Season 1.5. You can hide your name in your settings, which is really unique. Primo mode, they can't focus ban you for being one trick anymore. So it is okay to one trick, but if you want to really climb fast as possible, you're going to have to main more than one character in your comfortable role. Luca is putting him at B+.
I'd say B+.
B+ for him. I'm going to put him in B-. Don't see Ironman too many times in high elo at all. I've seen it once in the last 2 days.
I think nobody really wants to play him. The thing about him is if you look at his kit, he's generally solid. He has an ultimate that can one-shot through support ults. Even if it is a little telegraph, it still has the ability to do that. He does really solid damage with his E even without Gamma. I think his two biggest issues are how loud he is during his shift. You can no longer be sneaky with him. You sound like an aircraft carrier. It's impossible to miss. And the fact that he's so slow when he's trying to do damage. He has a really big hitbox in the air and he can be picked off while he's trying to do damage by characters like Hela. However, I think if Hela is banned and they're not playing one of the hardcore hit scan characters like Punisher, but you could even ban Punisher and Hela, I think Ironman actually works really well.
How about Namor into Ironman? I feel like you can't really do anything.
I think it's a neutral matchup.
You think so? You feel like
it's a little bit map dependent, but I can just shoot left clicks on your turrets and it kills them really easily. And especially if you clump them up together, if you shoot both turrets, I can break both of them really fast. See?
But
and your shots are projectiles, so they're not as easy to land on me.
That's true. Do you get slowed by Luna Squid?
Yes. See?
Oh, you do. Oh, you do. Oh, you're
I do get slowed. But Ironman wants to play around walls anyways. So if I'm playing around cover, just like tapping left click to destroy your turrets and then going in, I think it's a fine matchup. I think the character is fine, especially because his ultimate can one-shot through support ults. If you're sneaky about it, go up really high into the air, wait above a chokehold, and then ult. You can still do that. You just can't use your shift because it makes too much noise.
Can you maximum pulse me? I want to check something.
With Namor?
Can I block your maximum pulse?
Yes, you can block it for your teammates as well.
Do it.
So if you do it, you do it first.
Wow, that's insane.
You count as a physical
piece of block.
So it would block even Black Widow ult, for example.
Does it really?
Do it again.
Wow, that is insane. Wow.
You count as a wall. Even if you get up in Star-Lord's face, although this isn't very practical. I can't shoot past you.
That's insane.
I'm not sure what else you could use it for.
Magneto,
you could use it for this. Magneto, but you could use it for this as well. Magneto is probably the main use. I'm trying to kill that Luna Snow. And if he gets in the way, he can block it. I have to react to it if you are the Namor, because I can move around faster than you can in the air. So see, I can outmaneuver you.
So
I think Iron Man is B+.
Looking into Bucky, one of the top DPS right now. I put him at S tier for sure.
I don't know where exactly, but I think he's top 3 somewhere.
I think he's also top.
The character has insane survivability. Every time you use an ability, you get overhealth going up to as much as 400
or 25.
You even get overhealth every time you use your ultimate,
which is insane.
50 overhealth every time you use your ultimate, and given that it resets every time you get a kill with it, that is pretty outrageous. His time to kill is extremely low. It's 2 headshots, which he fires fast.
How about body shot? Are you saying it's fast?
Yes, I think it's extremely fast. It's not as fast as Hela, but he has the survivability that Hela doesn't, and he has better utility with his grapple. So you can do stuff like that. You can do the Lee Sin insect.
That's insane. So if for a lot of people that don't know, you just gotta turn around. You just gotta turn. You just gotta turn. Oh, I had to turn too much. What am I doing wrong?
No.
One eternity later.
It's most important to do this on characters like Cloak and Dagger or Invisible Woman to try and get them outside of their ultimate. So practicing it on squishy targets is probably the most useful.
Definitely top 3. Really easy to use character as well, because every 3 bullets and then you can reload your gun. Every time you use a skill, it reloads his gun as well.
It explodes and deals damage to people in a cone.
And the thing is, it's the same damage. You guys are taking the same damage, same amount of damage. That's wild. Look, it's the same damage. But if you headshot, is it also...
You can only headshot 1 person at a time.
That would be broken, actually. We both put Bucky at S tier. Very strong. A lot of people using a high elo.
He's very simple to use. It's just getting used to his projectiles and honestly shooting tanks. That's majority of the gameplay. It's really hard to die on the character, so you get to stay alive for a long time and get a lot of value.
And you can also move around. Even if there's a target up there, get up there.
Or hook them off.
Next character we're going to be looking at is Psylocke.
I'm not sure what you put Psylocke at during 1 point, but I think whatever that was, she moves up a tier this season. I think she's stronger this season. The only problem is that she has hard counters such as Loki, who are really strong at the moment. But if Loki is not in the game, Psylocke is really good for giving your team the better support ult tempo. You farm ultimate really fast off of tanks. You do massive damage to them with your left and right clicks, and just jump on top of the supports and press ult, trade yours for their support ult, and that's all the value you need to get. And she has a very oppressive 1v1. That's all the character is. You shoot tanks to get your cooldowns back. You try and deny enemy DPS their off angles. Try and kill them, win the 1v1, and ult on top of supports.
I actually put Psylocke at S tier in Season 0.
That's surprising. I don't think I would agree. Oh wait, sorry. In Season 0, I agree. In Season 1.0,
she went A.
I think she would go down to A, and I think she's either A+ or low S at the moment. It's the start of season, so I'm still trying to figure out. I think her and Star-Lord have an interesting dynamic where they have very similar jobs as a character. I'm still trying to figure out which one is better at the moment.
I agree. Also because in Season 1, the support ult charge was very quick. So you feel like you were getting neglected, right? As a DPS,
yes.
If you were playing Psylocke in Season 1. Now that all the support ults take much longer and you're playing Psylocke, I feel like it's back to us.
Yes, trading Psylocke's ultimate, which charges up really fast, for a support ultimate is really good ult tempo. Now that support ultimates actually take a decent amount of time to build, unlike Season 0, where Psylocke and supports would build their ultimate at almost the same pace.
So Psylocke, still S tier, Season 1.5. For me, low S, for sure. No, I wouldn't put her top 3 at all. The next one is Mr.Fantastic. I don't even know where to put this guy. Now that Invisible Woman is in the game, we're gonna go over the strategies.
Sue is very strong right now. Where do I put this guy? I
don't think he's that bad either. That's the thing.
I'm not sure what the majority consensus is on Mr. Fantastic, but I think for solo queue purposes, if you like the character, I think you can play him.
I think if you understand his kit and just practice his kit really well, I actually have no idea where to put him. I think he's like a A-. I'll be honest, like an A- character.
I would agree. I was hovering between B+ and A-.
because Sue is, or as you guys know, Invisible Woman has become one of the meta characters. We're gonna be going over Strategist next, but Strategist, Mr. Fantastic with Invisible Woman has a team up bonus, and as you guys know, the Thing has been in comp a lot lately. You guys been seeing probably in your ranked games. Probably one reason why I do like Mr. Fantastic with the team up. If there was no Invisible Woman, where would you put Mr. Fantastic?
Did Mr. Fantastic get an ultimate change?
Mr. Fantastic damage, his ultimate has been increased from 50 to 70 per punch. The energy charge required increased from 2,800 to 3,400. So his ultimate got nerfed, but his damage increased. Damage from his ultimate has been increased from 50 to 70 per punch. Like this punch.
I see. And it increases by 10 per bounce, I believe. If you do a tanky character like Groot, you'll see that...
That's 70 damage. That did more than that. That did way more than that. That did a lot more than that. Oh my god.
His damage increases per bounce.
That's a lot of increase. That's not just little increase. That's actually a lot.
You really want to bounce as much as possible as Mr. Fantastic.
Do you want to start bouncing and then get to them afterwards?
Like the later bounces are more important, yes. It's fine to start your way at the front line and then go to the back. Because if you're constantly in the middle of the enemy team, you might actually die when you use your ultimate.
You do become CC immune, but you're still easily targetable by Punisher or anyone.
One thing I would like to mention about Mr. Fantastic is that I think he is far better on convoy maps than on domination maps. I think his survivability is one of his biggest pluses as a character, and the best way to get more out of his survivability is by staying on card as long as possible and just being annoying, not letting them push card forward.
I noticed that.
While on domination, that doesn't work as well.
There's no benefit
on domination. You look to fight, once you capture the point, you look to fight nearer to their spawn than the point, where Mr. Fantastic loses a lot of value because his survivability isn't as useful.
We're going to talk about maps on another video, so if you guys are interested in that, make sure to subscribe, leave your notification on, and follow us on Twitch. But we're gonna have to move to the next character, Storm. One of my favorite characters. Actually, one of my mains. Storm is one of my mains. I want to also get her to Lord. Lord means you just have no life and you play this game too much. Storm, where do you put Storm at season 1.5?
I think she's about where she was in season 1. So still about S tier. I've seen that people aren't picking her as much as in season 1. I don't know why.
Because her damage of herself went down. She does less damage herself.
Her kill power went down. And now it takes, 4 shots to kill people?
Let me read this over. Storm, so damage fall off on her normal attack starts at 30 meters. Has been reduced from 70% to 60%. The damage boost on herself has been reduced, so she got a double nerf on her basic attack from range. So now she has to go close to do damage. If Luca's over there, let's say this is about 30 meters. So if I hit him, it does almost no damage. When back then, there was almost no fall-off damage.
Your kill power is now, at range, is now mostly in your right click. I can't hit a shot.
The damage boost from Goddess Boost E on herself has been reduced. So that's a double reduce. So she actually got reduced total of 9% overall. So I think Luca and I have this good understanding of Storm both being an S tier, even in season 1.5, even with the 9% decrease. As you can see, she got decreased a lot. Her kill power goes down. She's still not good as season 1. So there's going to be less picks in season 1. You're still going to see Storm banned because why?
Don't say Human Torch.
It's Human Torch. Because of Human Torch team up, her ultimate normally is 4 seconds. Oh, sorry, 5 seconds or 6 seconds. But with Human Torch, hear this out.
I'm bright like the star.
Becomes 12 seconds.
I'm bright like the star.
Oh, you need to throw down more tornadoes, but so
I'm bright like the star.
12 seconds of just consistent tornado. It also does more damage, which is just mind-blowing. Definitely S tier with Human Torch. We're gonna talk about Black Panther. So next character we're gonna have to talk about is Black Panther. Any thoughts on Black Panther? No changes in 1.5 for Black Panther.
He did, last season, he did get his shield change. It was, they lowered the cap on his shields, but he gets more, I believe, when you proc a mark. I think the only people that play this character are his one-tricks. I'm not wrong.
I agree. I feel like if you're not a one-tricking Black Panther,
This character's not worth it.
It's not worth it. I'm gonna put him at a solid B tier, just because if you're not one-tricking Black Panther and you're moving left and right 7,000 miles, he can be easily countered by a lot of characters.
It's too much work for the average person to play this character.
The thing's a little too much.
If you have fun playing him and you like the character,
go for it.
Be my guest. But generally speaking, you're not gonna have fun.
I feel like there's so many other characters that you can play other than Black Panther.
I agree. Black Panther has no guaranteed or free value. That's the biggest thing.
I agree. Next character we're gonna be looking at is Squirel Girl. I really believe that Squirrel Girl is map dependent. That's just me. There are maps that Squirrel Girl is very useful, like Midtown.
I think her ultimate is rather map dependent. There are maps that her ultimate is a lot stronger on than others. More enclosed ones such as Clintar, Midtown, maps like those, her ultimate is very good on. But generally speaking, her base kit I think is more comp dependent. Mainly her left click. Her damage is good. Squirtle doesn't have the best 1v1s, so you're not gonna see her constantly winning duels versus Hela, Psylockye, or Bucky. However, she's really good at tank shredding. So into characters like Thor, she can use her acorn to tie him down and he won't be able to move. Same with Thing, same with Venom. She's a real pain in the side for those kinds of characters. Even Hulk. And she completely melts through things like Strange Shield, the Thing, because he's so beefy. It's really easy to hit him. She's just one of your raw damage characters, similar to Punisher. I would say she's a projectile Punisher, I'm not going to lie.
But she has more movement. I feel like she has a lot more mobility. She can just fly around.
She has more mobility, which her survivability is better than Punisher's. But in turn, her damage is a little bit harder to get out because it's projectile.
I feel like someone that knows how to read projectile really well is very good with Squirrel Girl. I'm going to put Squirrel Girl at B+ tier.
I would put her A-.
A-.
I think she's really solid. I think the only lacking part of her kit is her ultimate. Sometimes it's really good value, other times it does nothing. It's kind of inconsistent.
I agree.
That's all I have to say about the character, really.
No, me too. I don't really have much to say about this character. I feel like Squirrel Girl is really fun in the lower elos too, because if you're just mindlessly throwing nuts, it's kind of fun.
She's really solid into Loki as well. Namor as well, you one-shot his turrets. You don't one-shot the ice turret, you two-shot it, but...
So that's really good. Wow. So for me, it's B+.
She's just a damage bot.
A- for Luca. Next character that we're gonna both have different opinions on is Spider-Man.
I don't think, in an ideal setting, I don't think Spider-Man is worth playing.
I think Spider-Man is still A+ tier. And Luca disagrees, because I don't know if you guys know, Spider-Man did get a buff on this patch, which I think is pretty massive buff, but Luca believes it's just a placebo effect, correct?
I think the Spider-Man buff it's nice, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's enough to make the character a menace. It's just bringing back all the Spidey mains that saw he got a buff and they want to play him again. So they're all hopping back into ranked, getting out of quick play. The character is really solid with Venom.
Because you go invincible, right? You can't hit him when you have the team up bonus, right?
Yes, but is it for the entire duration or only for a second?
I feel like it's a long time. 1.5 to 2 seconds.
The thing about Spider-Man is that he builds his ultimate very fast, but he can get stunned out of it. He can get slept out of it, frozen by Luna Snow. Anything that CCs him, it can stop his ultimate, which makes it a lot worse than it can be. It's the kind of ultimate that you do have to respect. Sometimes you have to respond to it with a support ultimate. And given how fast it builds, that can be a bad thing, but if you draft around it, you can deal with it. I think his base kit is where Spider-Man shines and being able to pick off characters in the middle of a fight. But again, you can draft around it. You can play things like Adam Warlock for the burst healing and for the soul link. In general, the character can be countered, and for that reason, I don't think he is deserving of
A rank?
An S tier or anything. But I would put him in B+ or A-. That would be my ranking for him.
A- or B+? Wow.
I should say the character is hard to play. You do have to really want to play him.
It's one of the characters that requires a lot of practice too. For me, I just hate Spider-Man mains. Sorry, hate is a strong word. I dislike Spider-Man mains because they make my life miserable.
Because you play Storm.
They make my life miserable. I
You
can't do
Storm
anything.
And support.
I really, yeah, Storm.
Maybe it's time to pick up the old Adam Warlock.
Next character, Wolverine. I think he's top 3 character.
I think he is situational.
If there is 2 tanks, I feel like Wolverine is a guarantee. You'll do so much with the Wolverine. If there's 2 tanks.
You can do a lot with the Wolverine, especially when there are 2 tanks. But he's the kind of character that if you try a couple times and it's just not working, I would recommend to just swap off. His ultimate is very good. You can use it to launch characters like Sue, who is very strong at the moment, out of her ultimate and kill her there. So you can interrupt support ultimates like that. You can only really do it to Sue and Claude or Invisible Woman.
Because Luna gets CC immune.
Luna gets CC immune. Mantis, her ultimate would be moving with her, so she'd still be receiving healing even after you pull her.
Well, what if you're pulling her away from her team, so they're not getting healed?
That's very hard to capitalize on and oftentimes not worth it.
I put him at S tier. Like, Wolverine's an easy S for me.
I think he's on the lower end of S tier because the character does have counters. You can play... The biggest counter to Wolverine is actually smart positioning. If you are always aware of where he is and position in a way where his engagers are really telegraphed, then it makes his job so much harder. And if you play a character like Magneto, then he's not going to have a fun time. Who can peel him off of your tanks. You have DPS characters like Namor, who can constantly slow him, and Hela, who can just burst him down. I think Wolverine does have counters, and for that reason, he is not a top 3 character for solo queue, but he is very strong, and when he works, he feels like he's the best character in the game. But if it's not working, you should just switch.
You gotta switch off.
Middle of
I
B.
agree. We're gonna move into Hawkeye.
Hawkeye got a HP change this season. He got plus 25 HP, and I think that's the only thing that they did to him.
Though, is a good season 1.5.
You may not realize it, but the 25 HP is actually a really big increase. One of the biggest counters to Hawkeye was Psylocke, because she could one-shot him with her one-shot combo, and she can no longer do that now that he has that extra 25 HP. Very similar to Punisher and Moonknight, Hawkeye has the same issue where he has a really big hitbox, very limited movement, and he can get assassinated easily. But I think he's better this season because
of the HP increase.
Because of the HP increase. Again, this is the kind of character where you should play it if you have a lot of hours on him and if you like the character, but there's other similar options. I would put him in the same ballpark as Squirel Girl, Punisher, Hela, even the damage bots of this game. He does have the added bonus that he can one-shot people out of support ultimates.
A headshot.
Yeah, but it requires headshots and hours spent on the character. There is alternatives to Hawkeye, but if you like him, go ahead. I would put him in maybe B plus A minus, somewhere around there.
B plus A minus. I'll put him around B plus too, as well.
I don't think any character in this game is F or D tier. I'm gonna be honest.
No, you're right. I don't see any characters that are D tier. That's all I really have to say about Hawkeye. You really don't have much to say about Hawkeye. It's just aim, shoot. He did get a buff with his HP, so he will get picked a little more. In season 1, he was on pretty much no one played him, unless you were only one trick. The next character, my friend really enjoys playing. Luca really enjoys playing, and we have a friend named Ada who also really likes playing Magik.
Magik is actually the character that when I saw her in the beta, I said that I would main her. In season 0, I didn't play her that much not in ranked, because I didn't think she was worth it. I've become more and more fond of her in a competitive setting more recently, ever since season 1. Her changes this season are a damage nerf on the Eldritch Whirl and the Demon's Rage, which is her demon. The demon got a DPS loss from 80 to 72, and her Whirl got decreased down to 40 something damage, I believe. This doesn't actually change any of her breakpoints, so you don't have to worry about it. But her ultimate did get an ultimate cost decrease.
That's
overall, I think
buff.
this is a buff.
I think it's a
overall,
buff.
I think this is a really big buff. Her ultimate is really strong if you're able to not die instantly when you cast it. I think she's really good. I think she fills out a lot of... She's very versatile character. You can use her as a dive character. You can brawl tanks with her. Her damage is very decent. I would say she struggles into Namor, Bucky, and Hela. I think those three characters are a little bit rough for her, especially Bucky. She can get moved around and disoriented quite easily by Bucky with his shift and his hook, but she's really good into triple support in my opinion. You can use her to dive on top of the supports, use your demon to sustain yourself, because every bit of damage that you do, you get overhealth for, you get shields. And given that the
crazy.
triple support comp, which is really strong right now, it does less damage than a 2-2 comp does. A 2-2 comp would do. This causes her to be stronger into them.
Yeah.
She has a very time getting picks as well, if you land your combo. I think this character goes into A+, I'm not gonna lie.
I think she's also A+. No,
Yeah, she does have her one-shot combo in Darkchild as well. Fully charged right-click into E. It's not reliable, but she does have it.
This is crazy that she does have that option. The fully right charge combo into E. Next character that did get a little bit of buff is Scarlet Witch.
Her ultimate, she now gets 100 over health whenever she uses it. Believe it or not, I think this character is B+. Maybe even A-.
I think so too. The reason is, if you use her ultimate in a support ult and you're going towards them, for example, their cloak ult and your cloak ult, and you're playing in your teammate's cloak ult, they cannot stay in their ult.
I think mainly Sue ult is actually the biggest offender of this. Sue is really strong right now and she's being played a lot, but her ultimate is actually kind of small. It's really tall, but it doesn't have a very big radius. It's about the size of Scarlet Witch ult. So if the enemy team wants to stay in the Sue ult, it would require them to be in range of the Scarlet Witch ult. If the Scarlet Witch gets bubbled by a Magneto, your team has nothing to see her with, then
Scarlet actually has a chance.
Scarlet is very strong. Scarlet Witch does suffer from having a mediocre 1v1. Her damage against squishies is decent, and it's not like she doesn't win 1v1s. She can win 1v1s actually fairly consistently. The problem is she does it too slowly. So a lot of characters can disengage before they die to Scarlet Witch, such as Psylocke, Star-Lord. They can choose to just walk away, even if they're losing the fight. Her survivability is really decent because of her shift. She's kind of a pest on the front line because she puts down her E in a choke, and walking through it is now really annoying. I think the character is actually really versatile in my opinion, and underrated. I'm stun-locked.
I agree with Lucas' point here. I didn't think about it like that, but if her ultimate is the radius of Sue, and Sue is going to be one of the most played support this season, especially because Luna still is going to get banned here and there, right? A lot of people don't like playing against Luna, Namor, Luna.
Strange is also being played less.
Yeah,
so her ultimate is going to be even more effective because there's going to be less shields to block it.
I feel like the 50 HP nerf from Strange is massive nerf.
Yeah, I think Scarlet Witch is low-key good.
I think Scarlet Witch is low-key good too. Oh, 2 left. Oh my god. One of my favorite characters in the game.
Don't you hate this character?
When I play him, I like it. When I go against him, I hate it. Namor, one of my favorite DPS. One of the DPS I actually can play. He's really fun and just counters dive. And I feel like a lot of dive characters are meta this season. And Namor counters that. So it's really nice to see that.
Namor having his shift ability and 275 HP has really good survivability. So he doesn't get... And he can be healed. Even if he's low HP, he can be healed during his bubble, which essentially gives him 500 health before you can actually kill him.
And you can block people's ult.
His damage is really consistent. He has a lot of good free value from his turrets. His slow from the Luna turret is absolutely immense. I don't think this character is worth playing without Luna.
I don't think so either.
Because his turret rotations are simply too slow without that third turret. I also think a really big part of Namor's kit is his ultimate. He gets his ultimate really fast, and with Luna damage boost or rocket damage boost, he is able to one-shot squishies even in the outer part of it. If you do not know, the center part of Namor ult does 500 damage, and the outer ring does 200. But with Luna ult, or with rocket amplifier, the outer circle does 320 damage.
Right.
It's 40% increase.
320 damage is insane.
So
anyone in the circle of that giant circle will die. So you see how Luna doesn't die right there? But
oh, sorry.
I mean,
20, 40, 60, 280. It does 280 damage, my bad.
but if you ultimate charge Luna, even
it one shots
ring,
even on the outer ring.
so a lot of people use that in high elo as well. So if you're playing Luna, Namor, some people do use this combo to get ult charge advantage for your team. So you have better tempo against the other team.
I do think Namor feels a little awkward sometimes if everyone on the enemy team has a way to escape his ultimate. It can feel weak sometimes, and in situations like those, it might be worth it to swap to Hela or Bucky. But in general, I would say Namor is one of the top 3 DPS right now if Luna is open.
Yep, I agree. I put him at S+ tier. With Luna,
I would put him in regular S tier.
Without Luna, I put him at S tier.
I think the only S+ tier character is Bucky.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think there's much to say about this character other than...
known as the anti-dive character, right? The last character that we're going to be reviewing.
Cheaper Town Hall.
Say it again?
Cheaper Town Hall.
Cheaper Town Home? Cheaper Town Home. Yes.
Ironfist got a change to his damage numbers. He now does percentage max health damage, which has turned him into a tank buster. And not even... It turned him into a tank buster. If you go Groot, especially in his parry state after his right click, you do so much damage. Holy
cow! What is that damage?
They buff every time after you right click, after this thing wears out. So every time you do a normal hit, look, I can parry again. So every time you do a normal hit outside of this state onto enemy players, it actually shortens down the cooldown of Iron Fist right click. It used to be, I think, 1 second, and I think they increased it to 1.5. So look, let me go Groot, go Iron Fist. Look, use your right click, then wait it out, and then punch me.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. And when it's out, you can just go back to normal attack, and then now have it again. Oh my god. And you guys know Iron Fist did get HP upgrade from 250 to 300. And his overshield now goes up to 450. What is this? This character is broken. I put him at A+ tier.
I think around A+ or A tier is very good for him. Does he have anything that he really struggles into?
Yes. Namor, you struggle a lot with Namor.
Iron Fist actually struggles into burst damage. His parry, even though it gives him a lot of overhealth, if you simply don't shoot him while he does his parry, he doesn't get a lot of overhealth. So if you're a character, so here's the thing, his turrets actually feed him a decent amount. Namor's turrets feed him a decent amount. However, if you know a character like, if I start approaching Jakey and he's shooting at me, and then I go to parry, he can just stop shooting me, and I don't get any overhealth. And then he shoots me again. Hela, I think, is actually really strong into Iron Fist. If you're disciplined as a Hela player into him, I have 56 health now. Because he didn't shoot me, instead of me having 250.
Oh, you can time it. What if you timed it?
It doesn't work that well because you're a hit scan. I can't time it, I predict you.
Wait, this guy has too much shield. But that's actually kind of fun.
It's just I'm an infinite, no ability cooldown. So I think Iron Fist struggles into burst damage. Surviving into that. Bucky too.
Shield?
I'm CC immune during it. That goes for anyone that's CC immune though. Even if I'm Mad Bubble.
Luca and I thought about season 1.5 Duelist tier list for this current meta and how they fit in pretty well. Perfect.
The most important part is that
what are you gonna say?
You have fun. The most important part is that you have fun on your character.
Exactly. And if you're not, just jump off the... Okay.